answers to your questions. And I'm going to start where I left off last night, which was with Alex B. He asks, why can't the world live without wars, in your opinion? And I think there's just so many different beliefs, not even in just religious differences, but philosophical differences. Like, some countries believe the amount of power the government should have is extreme. Like North Korea is, and they keep their people controlled. They tell you what job you're gonna do. I mean, it's very strict when you can leave and when you can't. There's just a lot of differences, and people don't want to lose power. So I think definitely, so long as there's still religions, we will have wars, because there's nothing bigger than how you believe and what your worldview is. And I just think there's just always going to be, until we really get united. And there's a theory about human 2.0, like the Neuralink that the company Elon Musk has, that eventually we'll all be enhanced with technology. Right now we carry it in our hands and our phones, where we're connected with the internet in our hands, but eventually we will be technologically enhanced. And I think that when that happens, I think everything can be programmed, and it's like pain and suffering can truly be ended. You can, if someone has like an addiction to a drug, it's a portion of their brain that can be turned on and off like a programming. I mean, it is really that good how technology is advancing, and what they can do now, and what can be done. So I think eventually that's what's going to happen to make everybody behave and get along. And it would be just like one Earth. There won't be like all these different divided nations. It truly would be just Earth. And you drive on the same side of the street wherever you go. You use the same money wherever you go. Everybody is the same. We all just believe the same, and we all just get along. I mean, can you imagine how beautiful that would be? It would just be amazing. But can you imagine it now? Like, could it really happen? I don't. It gonna. Everybody knows it gonna. Look how divided everybody is. Nobody believes the same thing. Everybody believes something different. Even like every now and then, I know you guys disagree with me. We probably don't all believe in the same thing, and it's like everybody wants something different, and some people have stuff and some people don't, and just the unfairness of life, and there's just no way we can get along that well to make it happen. And so I just think it's going to be a steady evolution of time, steady over time, maybe thousands of years, but certainly that's where it's going, because it's the only way I think we'll ever get along. Or if one of the religions is right, and it's truly a God out there, and they can save us, because that's the only two ways. Either technology is going to save us, or a true God is going to have to save us, because we're kind of in a mess, and have been for eons, centuries. It's just, you think about just all the struggle mankind has went through. I mean, it's just been a constant mess. History is messy, and we're still in it. We're writing history today. So, next question is, do you believe that humanity can work together and stop problems like climate change or world hunger? I think I kind of just answered that. The only way is through technology, and going out and protesting and all this stuff. Man, it's just not going to do anything. All you got to do is, the way to get through it is to truly just do technology. We're going to figure it out. We're going to get it figured out. And if we got to work hard at that, going out and protesting and marching much more smarter and advanced and more disciplined. I don't know. That's what I believe. Okay, and then the next question: do you believe that robots, artificial intelligence, might take over humanity in an apocalyptic way someday? What is your general opinion on human-like robots that help with simple activities? Do we even need them in the future? I think we're all going to be modified anyway. I think we will be the robots, but we'll be happy about it. You know, our pain sensors and our, like, we'll be able to, like, control, like, hypothetic, like, your hunger. Like, we'll know what the body needs. We'll program it for that. I mean, that's the kind of thing, as long as it is done correctly. I think it can solve so many problems. You know, you won't get those hunger. People won't overeat because they won't want to, you know. So, look, I don't think I'll ever be modified. I don't think my generation will see it. I don't think your generation will see it, but I think within 200 years, definitely, I think there will be human 1.0 may be gone and just all human 2.0s that are modified, you know, just like at your birth, it's just something they do. I think that's where it's going. I think that life is just, I think we're going to let it all go. Unless one of the religions takes over, you know, those are the two things that I think could happen. So, that's my belief. Ghost asks, what are your favorite ASMR channels? I listen to Jubilee Whispers and Frivolous Fox and the one Lilium. That's the three that I kind of rotate between. Just as one, I kind of lose the sensation, so then I'll go to another. But again, I don't watch them. I just listen to them because I hook up at night right when I lay down to go to sleep, and as I, you know, so I have that as a distraction rather than just thoughts scrolling through my mind. It's just I'm actually hearing something, and after I listen to the same thing over and over, I kind of know what to expect, so I really don't even have to listen to it anymore. So that's how ASMR works for me. And those are the three channels that I listen to, but I can't trigger myself, so I can't listen to myself. Drake says, hello Derek, so my questions are, what is the most important thing you've learned in your life? I would say that accepting that life is suffering. And I think the moment I came to realize that, I lived a much happier life because I didn't have the crazy high expectations for the world. That life is hard, life is suffering, and you just have to find a way to find beauty in all the pain, you know, and that's what I do every day. What do you value the most in your life? Definitely, I think my dogs. I think especially Vivian, and I hate to have favorites, but, you know, Max is a boy, and I don't know why, but I do. For the girl dogs, I just feel closer to him. Max was my first boy, but I just, you know, I love him to death, but there's something about Vivian. Vivian is probably the most, that's what I value the most in this life right now. What is your favorite movie? My favorite movie, there's two, Shawshank Redemption and The Saint. Shawshank Redemption helped me when I was young, because when I would think that I had it bad, I would feel sorry for myself or start getting a little down and wanting to try to give up. I would watch that movie and I could feel that I don't have it that bad. It would make me appreciate my life. Seeing how bad Andy Dufresne had it, what happened to that man, it would make me feel better no matter what I was doing. I knew my life was not as bad as Andy Dufresne's, and so that's why that movie was really impactful for me. It helped me. And then The Saint was just a movie that I like. I don't know, it was like suspenseful, and I'm sure if you guys watch watch it today, you would think, oh my god, I don't know, it wasn't, I think it still feels pretty modern. It's probably, I don't know what year it came out, but it's really good. And it's kind of got a mix with a little love story in it, but also like, you know, spy, like covert operations type stuff that is just kind of cool. So, those are my two favorites. Okay, next is Noe Casino. Do you play any instruments? No, I don't. Not fluently. I mean, I can play some things on the keyboard, like songs I've learned from just like watching YouTube videos and see where they put their hands. And I can just repeat and repeat and practice and practice and practice, and eventually I memorize it. But I can't read music or anything like that. And no, I wish it's another life regret I have is that I didn't learn to play an instrument. Do you know your ancestry or wonder about it? I do know my ancestry, and I went ahead and pulled it up tonight because I had kind of scanned through some of these questions. I am 52% England, 20% Germany, 19% Sweden, and 9% Scotland. That is my heritage. I got that through Ancestry.com. That's who. I sent that in years ago, so I had that, which was good that I could answer that question. What advice would you have given your 21-year-old self? I think I went through a little bit of that last night. Wow, that's a tough one. I'm actually working on that because I'm going to make a whole video about what I would do different, and just overall life advice. But I have a hard time, focusing on what would I have done different because it brings up feelings of regret or disappointment. But I think when I just think lightheartedly about it, if I could go back when I was 21, I would have went ahead and went to the military, and from there I would have used the military time to pay for my schooling because I couldn't, at that age I still wasn't financially, I mean I don't think I could have afforded it, but and again, there's an excuse that I used back then that's why I didn't do it. I used finances as a reason not to do it. But that's probably what I would do. But I can go into greater detail on that one. Favorite comedian? Probably Bill Burr. I don't watch a lot of comedy. I like goodness gracious, what is his name? I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on it. Anyway, it'll come to me as I talk about it, but I don't, like, a lot of the time, I just don't watch a lot of it. Dave Chappelle, I knew it would come to me. That's the other guy I like real well. He makes me laugh. Those two guys they make me laugh, but I think because I worked at car dealerships my whole life, like, my sense of humor is, you just deal with a lot of, like, weird people and funny stuff. Like, I have had actual comedians working, because if you're not like on TV and traveling the world as a comedian like Dave Chappelle or Bill Burr, you're really not making that much money. So those guys had day jobs, but I worked with some really funny people, and I think that I just have a little bit of a warped sense of humor. So it has to be, little lighthearted jokes just don't really do it for me. So anyway, there's that. And she's from California. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Noe. Massa Sassy has a question. Where do you work, or what was your job? I went through my entire work history last night on volume 2. But currently I am a real estate agent. Massa Sassy has another question. Do you think Lucifer is misjudged? Well, judged. They may have good motives like other religions, and they just have a different ruler. I think technically, according to like the Christian Bible, Satan's in control of the earth, so I think it makes sense to say that you're more likely to get something from Lucifer than you would from God, at least the way I see things, as far as the way I read the scripture, and how he has let Satan run the earth, set him free to mess with us, when he could have destroyed him. That's where, one of those religion things I struggle with. Lucifer was the angel, the archangel, and he got kicked out of heaven. And why wouldn't you just kill him, just destroy him? Why kick him out of heaven and let him come down here and create havoc down here, and pain and sorrow and suffering, all because Adam and Eve ate an apple? It just, I struggle with it. So I don't know if your question was a joke or not, but I tried to take it as seriously as possible. Spur. If you were to get a new dog, what breed would you go for? I'd have to get another lab. I can't. They melt my heart. It's just their shape of their heads, the look in their eyes, their mannerisms. I just love them. I might do a golden retriever too. I might do that because I love them too. Eddie asks, what's the biggest risk you took in your life that ended up paying off for yourself? I think quitting a really good paying union factory job because I didn't like it, and getting into sales without any experience, just under the belief that I thought I could do it. That was definitely the biggest payoff for me financially. What are some good books that you are really glad you have read? Probably the earliest book that I read was a book by Tony Robbins called Awaken the Giant Within. And I just learned a lot of understanding of the world. I just the way people think. It's a big book, but it's easy to read because it's like exciting and motivational. That book changed my life. It gave me this, a sales power. I was positive and upbeat. It motivated me. 12 Rules for Life is a book that really changed my life because rule number 2 was treat yourself as if you're someone you're responsible for. And so, it was the first time that I really said, stepped outside of myself and looked at me as an individual and say, okay, what if this guy was working for you? What would you tell him? And I spent hours just outside of myself, telling myself, here's what you should do. That book really helped me focus my life and think about what do I really want out of life, and who am I? That helped me. I also watched a video that helped me learn about money, and it was a movie called Zeitgeist. And I don't know if it's I think it is in the first one. It's called Zeitgeist. It's a film by Peter Joseph, and in that part of it might be there's a second documentary made called Zeitgeist Addendum, and it may be in that one where he talks about money. One of those two. There's been multiple since then, but the very first one, that was the one that really taught me about money and made me really focus on getting out of debt and how to save enough money to live off of, that you won't have to work ever again and do things for money that you just don't want to do. But working hard. I worked really hard. I made a lot of sacrifices, but I worked really hard to get ahead. So that's the number one key. That's not one of your questions, I don't think, but anyway. Miss Sylvia 72 99 says, good day to you. Number 1, is there any dream you still want to come true? I really don't, and it's one of the things that I struggle with right now, because dreams can help like guide your life and like make you, give you a reason to keep going. And I have reasons, of course. I want to stay alive, and I love life. I love my dogs. You know, I love a lot. My parents are still alive. You know, I mean, I've got reasons to be around, but sometimes, you know, life is difficult. So I just wish I had a dream. I wish I had a better dream to focus on, something I really wanted. That's kind of one of the things about getting to a point where you feel like you got what you want out of life. It's hard to, you know, it's not hard, but you have to really find other reasons to keep going, because you're not chasing anything anymore. So it's important to have a good dream. I'm happy I made my dream come true, but I need another one. What is your favorite dish food? I've answered that in one of the other videos too. Pizza would be, if I could only eat one last thing, it would probably be that. What country place would you like to visit the most? I worked for Toyota for years, and I have a great respect for the Japanese culture, so I think I would like to go to Japan. I would, just because I would find it interesting, just because I learned so much about Japan when I worked for Toyota. So, but right now, because it's cold here, I'd love to be on the beach somewhere, sunny and warm. You know, I think that's where I want to end up, somewhere coastal, where it's warm all year. So that goes on to, oh well, that would be like another place, so somewhere warm. Okay, that was for Sylvia. Let's go to Nicholas Kimmel. Hi, I'm from Germany. I wanted to ask a question. You were once named ASMR religion. I need to check one thing, sorry. You were once named ASMR religion, if I remember correctly, and since you already told us a lot about your opinion on religion, I'd be interested in your opinion on Stoicism and life philosophies in general. Stoicism is like Marcus Aurelius and all the great Stoics from our past. I am very into Stoicism. I think those men were just so wise, and you know, I don't know how they did it, I don't know, but they were really deep thinkers, and it's I do think that that's the best thing we can do here on earth, is really think about ways to be a thinker and try to think things through, like what can we do to make life better, because it is so hard. And I think that is kind of the driving force behind what has got us here. Like, people throughout history have always found ways to persevere and continually make life better. I mean, just if we were to go back, 20 years, I wouldn't even be talking to you, because the internet, maybe, I don't know what year it came out, but certainly not 20 years ago, we didn't have it. Maybe 25 for sure, we didn't have it. So, just so many things change, like medically, and you walk in a grocery store, there's just food everywhere, at least in America. We take that for granted. Constant electricity, constant running water, all these things we take for granted. Just get in a car and go somewhere anytime you want. Oh, you need to go to another country, just tomorrow I could be flying out. It's just, the convenience is just unbelievable. Yeah. Anyway, I don't remember. Oh, Stoicism, that was what that was about, and life philosophies. And there you go. Yes, I love to philosophize on life and come up with ways. That's how I've got my beliefs on religion, and the deep thoughts that I've had, that I think that's the best thing we can do in life. I truly do, because I also think it makes you a better person. You're just constantly dwelling So, okay, this is Niall Simons. After the previous video, my question would be what your most favorite or most believed conspiracy theory is, and do you have any of your own? The number one that the one that I know for sure that I believe the most isn't a conspiracy is that JFK was killed by Lee Harvey Oswald. I do not believe he was. I am basically 100% certain it would be. It's much harder to believe that Lee Harvey Oswald killed him than it is to believe that someone else killed him. Let's see, and then probably the one that confuses me, the one that has caused me the most unrest is Building 7 on 9/11. That one bothers me a lot because I don't even like the thought that, it was anything other than what we were told. That one bothers me. As far as one of my own theories, I haven't really invented any of my own conspiracies. I do kind of feel like I'm not a prepper, but I do kind of feel like I live like at any moment something could happen. It's like I feel like I have to be constantly prepared for something, because anything can happen. So I just kind of have that. I constantly have that little concern with me. I carry it. It affects. I just always have got to be on guard. I think the world is dangerous, and I just always am trying to stay alive. And part of that is because I did work my youth away, and so now that I've made it, I don't want it. I want to still be able to enjoy it. And I want to live. And I want to see where I can go without the weight of the world on my shoulders, which is what I carried when I was working 70, 80-hour work weeks. And anyway, then Amina asks for a house tour, but I can't hardly do that right now. But I will make that another video. I'll kind of just slowly walk through each room and take you around sometime. I made a video in December about the outside. It shows the outside about what they're building a bunch of houses behind me. I'm Joey asks, do you think anyone can truly be a good person? Well, I don't think society as a whole can be good without intervention, and that would be either through a god or through technology. And so I think we're going to have to be modified to be really perfect people, Otherwise, I just think we're all damaged in some sort of way, It's just here, it's been rainy and gray, and it's cold out, and it's just that I can't see the sun, and it's hard. You gotta try, you gotta really work to kind of keep yourself up and push through the fact that you can't control the weather. It is gonna do what it's gonna do, and you just have to live it. And so I don't know. I think we can be good to each other. It's possible, yes. So I do think people can be a good person, but a perfect person, no. I don't think anyone will ever be perfect. I think life's too hard until we're modified. How do you think the world would be without a currency? I think, well, I suppose if you just walked in, it's interesting you say that because I mentioned that Zeitgeist movie, and I think it's at the end of Zeitgeist Addendum. There's a guy that talks about that, a moneyless society, where if you want something, you just walk into the Best Buy. Hypothetically, you wanted a TV, you just walk in, get it, and take it home. Eventually, everybody that wants one would have one, right? And no one would have to steal, But yes, I can see that in the future with technology that there could be that day, but in the interim, I think Bitcoin could save humanity. I really do. It's a decentralized currency that has a fixed supply, so there'll never be more than 21 million bitcoins. And where you look what our governments are doing all across the world, they're all printing money that just out of thin air, and it inflates. That's why things are costing more and more, because that's what causes inflation. When they print money, it inflates. Yeah, prices go up. You can't make money out of nothing. It has to have value. It has to have scarcity to have value. That's why gold used to be the currency, because there was only so much, and so its value fluctuated as far as what it could do. But at the end of the day, it's I don't know. I can see Bitcoin helping the problem a lot, but I see a world without currency. It would take 1,000 years from now, maybe. I mean, that's the way it's going to take, a long time to get humanity there. How do you think a next world war would be caused, and why? I think maybe somebody rogue like North Korea or Iran. Iran might get nukes, and they may just take out Israel once and for all, or I don't know. We're, this Russia thing, we're supplying weapons to their enemy. I mean, we're just like playing with fire, and like they're, like, I hate that it's happening, but it's not really our problem to be intervening in, and that's the way I feel about it, that it's just, we're playing with fire, and it could happen, if something, imagine something really catastrophic, we give Ukraine weapons, and they go and kill, like, one of Putin's kids or something, like, even accidentally. Is it beyond the realm of possibility that maybe they might shoot a nuke? I don't know. And maybe not to America, but maybe they could get it to hit Europe for sure, as punishment, because Europe's supplying weapons too. So, I don't know, we're getting all this mixed up stuff that, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me, and I think that that's why I just say we just got to keep working, we just got to keep evolving. Eventually, it's just like America didn't used to be here. There was no places of freedom. You were ruled by the church, or you were ruled by tyrants or kings. It was brutal. And so America brought freedom to the world, and now we just have to keep it and keep getting spreading, and be respected. And I think that's what's happened. We created the freedom, we started spreading it, everybody was, but then we became corrupt, and I think our institutions are corrupted. The government it's horrible, and we have to fix it, but it's going to take time, and everything needs to be peaceful. I don't think we'll ever preemptively do anything to, do it, but we need to quit sticking our noses in everything. That's what I believe, and step back and say, hey, we'll help anybody that begs, as long as, I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is. Do we help people? Become somebody calling out in need. How do we not intervene? And then you create new enemies. I don't know. It's just, see, that's the hard part about a country intervening. I think that's why some countries were just neutrality is such a good stance. But also, how do you sit back and watch an ally die? It's so complicated. The system is just, the world is complicated, and that's really the ultimate point. You just have to figure you out. That's when you work on yourself. In time, as you get older and wiser, for young people now are just like, you got to be working on yourself. It's not your job to fix you. It's hard to. What are you going to do? And there's really nothing you can do. I hate to say that, but you can as you get older, and when you have a lot more time to dwell about those problems and what would you do, and potentially run for office. But I would not spend a lot of time doing it, but hopefully just no, definitely don't be naive that there's problems, but just maybe keep your expectations in line. What got you into content creation, specifically ASMR? Primarily because I enjoyed ASMR for free. I've never paid for YouTube Premium, so I would, see the ads and things like that. That helps the creator, but I didn't, I wasn't a channel member for people back then, and I wanted to do things I wanted to get back to the community because I knew I could go through 200 different ASM artists and not get tingles, but then just it's the vibration, it's the sounds, I don't understand how and why it works. I just know that ASMR is real and tingles are real. And so I thought, well, if I can just be that 1 in 200 for somebody, let me just see what happens. And it just kind of got me motivated because honestly, people like you, Joey, that comment often and say, hey, nice things, it's encouraging, and it kind of builds a person up. And so you think, okay, well, if they like it, then maybe other people will. I mean, it's good people that made me keep going, so that's why I'm still here. And I suppose I could go back to Sylvia's question about any dreams. I kind of have a secret dream of being able to do this as a job, if I could get because I like doing real estate, but it's I don't know, it's kind of, I've done it, this is my 4th year, so I'm kind of over it already. It was a challenge, I feel like I conquered it, and now it's not very motivating for me. But anyway, I think I'm gonna have to stop now, and I'm almost done. I've only got a few more to go, but I'm gonna have to do a number 4 video. So anyway, thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you on volume